Hello everyone, we are here live at Kansas Speedway for race number 5 of the Turnkey Network Solutions series in the 5 points racing league. Qualifying right now underway here at the Kansas Motor Speedway as practice just wrapped up 30 seconds ago. So these drivers trying to get their fast lap times here at the nighttime in Kansas. So right now on the racetrack is Malachi Drake, Tyler Aspinall, Eric Kier, Ollie Reeves, Jacob McMillan, Jack Clemens, and a bunch of other ones trying to set their fast laps right now. And we're going to look at Malachi Drake right here, who's entering turn 1 and 2 now. Down the back straight away he goes. Top of your screen will be the fast lap time showing up once these drivers complete a lap. Everything going smoothly so far for Malachi Drake. Last race winner Luke Peters not on the racetrack yet, I believe. Jacob Millen goes top of the board for now. Now Jack Clemens goes top of the board. Malachi Drake slots himself up in 2 seconds. Luke Peters not on the racetrack yet. He won last week at Sonoma in the West Coast. Now in the Midwest, a little different here. Obviously an oval as Aaron Brown goes up to 3rd in that 33 machine right on the top side. That's going to be the fastest lap time around at Kansas in the qualifying. Just running the wall as close as you can. We'll see how Brown does. He goes a little bit lower in 3 and 4, now to the bottom in 3 and 4. Not typically what I've seen so far, but maybe they did update these Xfinity cars in this track earlier in the season. So coming across the line, will Brown improve on his lap time? He does, and he goes to P number 2 right behind Jack Clemens. Actually, his lap did not count, so must have brushed the wall somewhere there. So Aaron's lap does not count. So Jack Clemens onto the board for now. Thomas Kunin goes to 2nd. Malachi Drake 3rd. Eric Keeter 4th. He's still on his 2nd lap, and he just crossed the line there, so he's not going to get another one there. So Ollie Reeves going for his fast lap on his last lap. Right now on P number 9. Can he improve inside the top 5? That's coming across the line this time by is going to be a 30.895, and he does improve. That puts him up to 8th. As Tyler Aspinall goes up to the top 5 spot. As looking for on his out lap right now. Actually, this is going to be his first time lap. Same with Zachary Thornton. Same exact time for these guys as they're coming across the line. It's going to be a 30.847. That puts him in the top 10, I believe. Puts him in 8th, and Zachary Thornton goes to... Actually, his lap did not count last time by his Brian Perry goes to 14th as Adrian Fernandez goes up to 11th now. As Luke Blafaro crossing the line here shortly through 3 and 4 he goes. Will he improve on his last lap? A minute and a half left in qualifying to win the Rev Limit Workshop Pole Award. Blafaro really does improve, and it's going to put himself in the top 5. I believe he puts himself up to 4th place. With that lap there, Zachary Thornton goes up to 12th. With that lap he just put in. As Douglas Newbingen coming across the line to set his first lap right now. As he's a minute left in qualifying, so he should be able to get both those laps in here if he doesn't brush the wall. But Luke Peters not looking like to qualify here tonight. Same with Jordan Kuntz. So no qualifying lap time for those 2 drivers. Kuntz was really quick last week at Sonoma, and obviously he won his first race at Iowa 2 weeks ago. So interestingly, those 2 drivers, the last 2 race winners, not going to qualify. As Newbingen, really good lap right there. That puts him in 3rd place. Can he improve? Can he go on pole position and steal this one away from Jack Clemens? Down the back straight he goes. Douglas Newbingen looking really good so far. 30 seconds left. Plenty of time for him to set this lap. Coming through 3 and 4. Goes to the low side. Gets a little bit loose on the entry of turn 3. He's going to wash up the racetrack. He gets really loose, and that's going to be the end of his lap, but still a top 3 spot for him as that pushes Malachi Drake in 4th and Luke Lafaro 5th and Eric here outside the top 5. So that's going to wrap it up for qualifying as Jack Clemens wins pole here tonight. His first pole of the season here comes at Kansas. He'll win the Rev Limit Workshop Pole Award, and also Rev Limit Workshop is sponsoring here tonight's race. So Rev Limit Workshop 150 at Kansas City tonight, and that's officially Jack Clemens' pole right there, first of the season, like I mentioned. But he did win at Homestead, so it's actually Looking at it, the only driver that went from pole position is Luke Peters last week at Sonoma on the road course there. So can someone on the oval side win the pole and win the race? We'll see if that happens here tonight for Jack Clemens. But these drivers having a quick driver's meeting and a quick warm up here for the next 4.5 or so minutes. So we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back before the green flag drops here at Kansas Speedway. As we're back live here at Kansas Speedway. So, for race number 5 of the Turnkey Network Solutions series. As right now green up here for the Rev Limit Workshop 150. Just saw Jack Clemens get pole position here a moment ago. Get a quick look at our starting grid here for tonight's race. Be Jack Clemens on the front rail with Thomas Coonan beside him. Douglas Newbigin in third, Malachi Drake fourth, Luke Rufaro fifth, Eric Heater sixth, Tyler Aspinall seventh, Aaron Brown eighth, Lucas Scherer ninth, Ollie Reeves in 10th, Dakota Lee 11th, Adrian Fernandez 12th, Zachary Thornton 13th, Jacob McMillan 14th, Evan Drake in 15th, Brian Perry 16th, Brendan Griffith 17th, Chris Sawyer 18th, Dakota Hendrickson 19th, Nicholas Amons in 20th, Zach Domer in 21st, Luke Peters in 22nd, last week's winner, Jordan Goots 23rd, Derek Stanley in 24th, Diego Sands in 25th, Donovan David in 26th. Cameron Ingram around our 27 car field here tonight at Kansas, 100 laps in total. As Pacetrack pulls off the pit lane, we're about to do battle here for 150 miles in Kansas City, Missouri. And green flag is out and away we go. As through turn 1 and 2 they go. Getting up to speed here. Can Coonan clear Clemens on the top side? Looks like he will get a good exit off of turn 2, and he'll clear for the race lead now. Down the back straightaway. It'll be interesting to see what line these drivers run, the bottom, middle, or top. Some drivers further in the top, as we saw Malachi Drake run the top there on 3 and 4. There's lap 1 complete. Thomas Coonan leads lap 1. And just see all this multi-group racing. You see, I think that's Luke Farr in the middle there. A monster car, white monster car in the middle. That 54. He's running the middle lane compared to Eric Keeter, Douglas Newbigin on the bottom, as Malachi Drake and Aaron Brown up the very top side. But the two leaders kind of pulling away on the bottom lane, so that could be the preferred lane once these tires start to wear out. As Malachi Drake on the outside wall, let's go out Aaron Brown. And Eric Keeter slot back to the inside of him and make the move around that 90 machine. There's Ollie Reeves to the inside also of Malachi Drake. And here comes Luke Faro also. So it looks like the inside link kind of training up together, as the outside link has kind of died down. Even in the early laps, I think the outside was kind of better for the one lap run. But after a while, the inside overall will save more tires. And also just be quicker, as Tyler Aspinall, I think maybe 3 wide with Lucas Strayer. And that's Zachary Thornton right there. Also, as Luke Peters already up to 12th place after starting in 22nd. So he's right on the edge of this main pack. That's now 3 wide move in turn 1 and 2. He's going to take it way to the bottom. He's going to clear both of Zachary Thornton and Tyler Aspinall. So now he's up inside the top 10 for the first time tonight. He's right now side by side almost for the race lead as Thomas Coonan and Jack Clemens very close together. About car length in between. Coonan pulls away a little bit through 3 and 4. But those drivers have really pulled away from the rest of the field so far here tonight. Just to kind of see the gap between Clemens and Newbing being behind him, as everyone now running the inside early on this one, as pit window around 38 laps in total for fuel, so it will be a 2-stop race most likely. Could maybe stretch out to 40 laps if you save enough fuel, but it's a big if, as Lucas Strayer really repping the top side now up to 8th place, and he's looking for more. He looks to the inside of Luke Rufaro, as Luke Peters right behind him also. As another driver who started pretty far down the field was Jordan Kuntz. He won at Iowa 2 weeks ago. Right now he's in 26th place, way down the order right now. So I'm not sure if something's wrong with his machine or he's just not good at Kansas, but struggling early here in this one. Here comes Eric Hughes to the inside of Aaron Brown for the top 4 spot. Up to 4th place, Heater will try to go on the inside. So side by side through 1 and 2. Such a big train of cars right now on the inside from 4th on back. Just kind of see how big this train is. From Aaron Brown on back, you got about, say, around 8 or 9 cars in this pack. On the end, Zachary Thorne in 11th, Aaron Brown in 4th, so that'll be about 8 cars in total there. And now side by side up here, Jack Clemens on the inside for the race lead on Thomas Coonan. Side by side through 3 and 4. Coonan's just going to let Clemens have it, as he'll clear easily in 3 and 4. So Clemens back to the point. We've only done one 1.5 mile track this year, this season so far, and Clemens was the winner there at Homestead. Him and Thomas Coonan battled it out late in that one, but Clemens came up victorious. Will we see the same thing here tonight at Kansas? As side by side there is Peters up to 7th now, ahead of Lucas Strayer and Luke Lafaro. As now he sets his sights on Ollie Reeves in 6th. As let's just see how many positions Luke Pierce has gained so far. Up 15. Diego Scenes also up 12. So those two are the biggest movers so far. Scenes in 13th right now. That 44 machine. As now Ollie Reeves in the middle of the racetrack getting passed by Luke Peters, trying to hang on for 6th for now. As the field's separating just a little bit early on this one, the first 10 laps gone by just like that. I believe that might be lap traffic right behind our race leaders. And that is Evan Drake right there going a lap down. As he's way up the racetrack, he goes getting out of these guys' way. As Douglas Newbegin can get around him. And here comes Aaron Brown, Eric Hughes, and the rest of the pack right there behind. Trying to get around Evan Drake. Luke Pierce did get around Ollie Reeves for 6th. Eventually it's Lucas Strayer trying to get around Ollie Reeves for now here for 6th place also. He'll do so, but lap traffic going to stay bottom, going to give him some dirty air on the bottom lane. Here comes Lufaro trying to make it work, not able to make it. He has to back out now. Ollie Reeves has a good run down the back straightaway, side by side for 7th. Entering turn 3 and 4. And Strayer stay up top and hold on to that 7th place spot. Oral Reeves clear. Looks like they're still side by side off of turn 4 coming across the line. It's going to be Reeves across the line there by a nose, but can he clear in 1 and 2? Doesn't look like he will. Strayer doing a real good job getting up top on the top side. As finally he is clear now, Lafaro going to stick his nose to the top side, side by side with Ollie Reeves for 8th. Behind them, side by side, Malachi Jake and Zachary Thornton. Zachary Thornton blinking out just a little bit there. Might need some better Wi-Fi for that 935 machine. But out in front, Jack Clemens still leads over Thomas Coonan. As Coonan hasn't really let him get away too much. I mean, just about half a car length between. He's looking to the outside now, that 69 machine. Looks like he might be to his right rear quarter panel. Not quite, as Clemens shuts the door there. Oh, now a little crossover move there as Coonan looked up top. Now he goes to the bottom of the 69. As they're side by side off of turn 2 now. And, oh, behind them, Douglas Newbegin into the outside wall. And he is closing in on our race leaders as Thomas Coonan takes the race lead away from Jack Clemens here on lap 16. So far 1-2 have swapped twice here so far tonight, but Coonan takes back the points out in front. But here comes Aaron Brown and the rest of the field of Douglas Newbigin, Eric Keeter, and Luke Peters have caught up to the main pack. And what an impressive run from Luke Peters, starting all the way back in 22nd. Now almost caught up to our race leaders. Only 17 laps into this one. So before we even make the first pit stops yet, Luke Peters is right in position to be there when they pit. But here comes Douglas Newbigin to the top side now. Did Clemens and Coonan maybe burn up their stuff a little bit too much, trying to pull away from these guys? Ooh, very loose for Newbigin there, off of turn 4. As all the back bumpers, he's in the outside wall. It's got Aaron Brown to get through. As can Eric Keeter follow through also? Not quite. As here comes Peters on the outside for a top 5 spot. Looks like he's going to try to get it around Eric Keeter. As through the middle he goes. For a second, they almost went 3 wide there with Newbigin. As they're still side by side for now. As Peters does clear for 5th place now, as the sights set on Douglas Newbigin out in front. Aaron Brown just doing a great job so far this season in 3rd place. He's actually currently our points leader after Sonoma last week. He's the only driver to finish top 5 all 4 races as he's eclipsed the outside wall off of turn 4. And Douglas Newbigin gets back in front into the top 3 spot, and Luke Peters is going to take advantage of that one. He goes to the inside on 1 and 2. Aaron Brown crowds him down there though, as Luke Peters might clip the inside apron for a second as Brown stays up in 4th. As he lost the position on the front straightaway off of turn 4 to Douglas Newbigin. As Newbigin with a great run through 1 and 2. Now looking to the outside as Clemens runs to the outside as big gaggle of cars here could allow Lucas Strayer, Luke LaFaro, and Ollie Reeves to maybe catch back up to this main pack. As they're side by side of the race lead, Clemens goes to the bottom. And he's going to clear back up in front for him. As now Coonan up top clips the outside wall, goes something down big time. Will he fall down to 3rd or even worse as Aaron Brown's to the inside of him as Luke Peters now to the outside of Aaron Brown. They get held up just a little bit from Thomas Coonan there, gives him a good shove down into 3 and 4. As well, Peters split the middle there. There is a gap, but he just doesn't have the momentum to do so. As Will Brown get Frick chained on the outside. As Coonan stays in 3rd. As here comes up for the race lead, Douglas Newbigin, new race leader for that 71. Out in front now, but behind him, 4th place, Luke Peters and Aaron Brown battling out. Peters up top, has him a little bit of draft down the back straightaway. He's a clear for 4th. So here comes Clemens back for the point as he looks to the inside of Douglas Newbigin. He's not to his left rear quarter panel yet. The side draft him off the exit turn 4. So Newbigin's going to lead this lap here in lap 23. Coming to 23. As again, the top 6 have pulled away just a little bit over Lucas Strayer and Luke LaFaro and Ollie Reeves and Malachi Drake in this 4-car pack behind. They're not too far behind as some contact there. I think Aaron Brown hit the outside wall. As now, Jack Clemens is looking for the race lead on Douglas Newbigin. Not going to be able to do it. He slots back in line behind our race leader. As Newbigin hard on the outside wall for turn 4. That's going to allow Clemens to get through. Will Coonan follow suit? Looks like he will. He's going to look to the inside. Watch out for Luke Peters and Aaron Brown behind. As Peters going to go to the inside in the middle as they're almost 3 wide. Down the back straightaway they go. Newbigin with a good run off for turn 2 on the outside lane. He's going to clear Coonan for 2nd, I think, almost into turn 3 and 4. Just not quite able to. And he actually does off of turn 4. He will clear, but here comes Luke Peters now with a good run. But Newbigin with a good run down the front straightaway. He looks to the inside now, back to the outside on Jack Clemens. He's to his right rear quarter panel, entering turn 1 and 2. As a recorder through this race, as Coonan gets tight, almost gets in Luke Peters off the exit of turn 2. Coonan gets loose, Heater gets loose behind them. As Luke Peters slots himself up to 3rd. It's Jack Clemens and Douglas Newbigin battling out here for the race lead still. Side by side, who's going to get a better run off for turn 4? Looks like Newbigin will. I think Peters may have hit the outside wall in 3 and 4. Slots him back down to 5th. And then Newbigin might be able to clear off of turn 2 with a good run down the back. As he does with a massive run there. Almost 3 car lengths now separate Jack Clemens and Douglas Newbigin. No one has been able to pull away so far as the race leader, even with that clean air. Seems like every time Newbigin gets out in front, he just clips the outside wall for turn 2, off for turn 4, trying to run the outside lane. I think he's settled in the groove so far right now. Once these tires start to wear out, they're about a second, about 1.2 seconds off pace so far compared to the fresh tires, so the tire wear is definitely there. As Kunin side by side with Luke Peters. As Kunin falling back down to 5th, maybe even down to 6th here as Eric Keel looking to the inside. There's one thing surprising me so far as Aaron gets way up the racetrack. Might have got a bit loose there in the middle. A bump or something. As there's Peters and Aaron Brown side by side off for turn 2. Entering 3 and 4 now. As I was mentioning, one thing that surprised me is the pack behind him wasn't able to catch up to him. As Peters with he tried to get in front of him, not able to. As a contact off for turn 4. Almost could have been disastrous for those Aaron Brown and Luke Peters, but they managed to keep it safe. As Aaron turns in a little too early, clips Peters' right rear. Gets in Aaron up the racetrack, and Peters, that little move right there allows Peters to clear down the back, but Aaron's got a good run down the back straightaway to the inside. He goes. As another side by side heater in the outside wall once again. As Aaron with a slide job move, not able to. He's almost puts Luke Peters on the outside wall. Could have been deja vu all over again. As Peters now to the top side, Aaron Brown to the bottom. As they'll clear into 1 and 2 for now. They single file out on the top side. For now, Douglas Newbigin trying to pull away from the rest of the field. As you're about 10 laps away from pit stops here, as Thomas Kunin got passed by Eric Keeter. Can he either stay ahead for now? As Kunin in the outside wall once again as the pack behind going 3 wide. Ollie Reeves up top. LaFaro shuts the door on him as he's going to stay in 7th as they're catching up to the 6th place pack. 6-car pack up ahead as Thomas Kunin falling off here early in this one. As Luke LaFaro hard on the outside wall, gonna scrape it all halfway through in 1 and 2. As now Lucas straight to the inside, Ollie Reeves up to 7th as LaFaro stays in 8th for now. But Douglas Newbigin doing a good job on the top side. As you can kind of see, everyone has migrated up top, but these things are very loose, and you've seen a lot of people hit those outside wall. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 it's been pretty equal so far tonight. On what corner's been the hardest? I mean, I'll say the exits have probably been the worst off of 4 and off of turn 2. But we've seen a lot of drivers scrape the wall throughout the whole corner almost, as we've seen Eric Keogh do that a few times, Thomas Kunin do that a few times, and Luke Peters do that a few times. But Douglas Newbigin doing a good job as a race leader for now. As we're coming to complete lap 32, coming to 33. And pit stops should be happening here in the next 10 laps or so. Just see how spread out this field is. As right now, only 2 drivers a lap down, Evan Drake and Cameron Ingram. I think Ingram has disconnected from the session, I believe. So he's out. He's our first DNF of the night. Jordan Kuntz up to 9. Oh, right when the Jordan Kuntz is Brian Perry hard on the outside wall. As Kuntz has one driver down pit lane. Lucas Strayer down pit lane. First driver to pit here on lap 34. Looking like he's going to split up into thirds. 34, 66 maybe. Could be an interesting strategy there. But one thing to note, Jordan Kuntz didn't have a good qualifying. And right now he's sitting in 17th place as he was one of the race winners earlier in this season at Iowa. And now Jack Clemens just chased down Douglas Newbigin his last 2 laps. Is now zooming outside. Same with Aaron Brown and Luke Peters are going to go back at it again for the 3rd time tonight. As up ahead, side by side for the race lead. Clemens on the bottom, Newbegin on top. Clemens stays behind for now. But Aaron Brown with a good run on Luke Pierce. Gonna look to the inside side draft on the interior turn 3 and 4. We look for a slide job move on the 50 machine. He's got to try it here on the exit. Just something gives enough momentum. Almost there. He almost was able to make the move, but just not quite. These are side by side, entering 1 and 2 for now. As Luke Farr down pit lane, Zachary Thorne, Diego Scenes down pit lane. So Aaron gets tight off of turn 2, but Peters still stays ahead for now. As up ahead, Jack Clemens in the outside wall as Douglas Newbegin on the inside. As he's coming down pit lane this time by Jack Clemens also. Very late decision for him as he was almost in the middle of the racetrack. We'll see if he can slow it down in time. Looks like he did. But pitting here in lap 36, so how late will Luke Pierce and Aaron Brown stay out? And maybe a caution comes out here later in this one. As well, Luke Pierce bring it down this time. No, he won't. Aaron Brown doesn't do that either. So no one else behind them does. As see if Jordan Kuntz maybe comes down pit lane this time by. Doesn't look like anyone else on the racetrack pits this lap on lap 37, coming to 38. As Aaron Brown hard on the outside wall. And Eric here chasing these guys down also. So he could be one to watch out here. It looks like these guys are on the bottom, looking like they might pit this time by. And now they're just going to run the bottom, which is interesting because the top has seemed pretty good so far here tonight. But we'll see how long these guys go, as they seem like they're trying to really stretch it out here, maybe hoping for a caution late in this green flag run. As Jack Clemens actually has a penalty on pit lane, I believe. He had a 54.2 pit stop. As just noticed that one, so he's gonna go 2 laps down. That's really big moves. Our pole sitter penalty, not sure exactly what for. I'm guessing speeding possibly, as Ollie Reeves coming down pit lane, I believe at this time by. It looks like he does very loose on the entry pit lane, but Jair's still electing to stay out here as Clemens now 2 laps down, but he's got way fresher tires, so hopefully he's got hope for a caution late in this one. As Jordan Coombs moves himself up to the top 10 position, up to 8, as he's side by side with Brendan Griffiths. He's up ahead. Here comes those top 3 coming down pit lane. A little bit loose here. Misses pit lane. That's going to be a costly mistake for that 28 machine. I think he thought he was going to hit Luke Peters possibly, or actually Aaron Brown. So he misses pit lane. That's a little replay of that one, but he has to go 1 lap more than he wants to. As Peters in his box now, he's a little bit earlier box since he did not set a qualifying lap. As who will single out to the race lead? Tyler Aspinall, Jacob McMillan, Brandon Griffiths, and Eric Keto is yet to pit. It's Thomas Kunin down pit lane as he fell off a cliff late in that one. So we'll see what everyone signals out. I think Douglas Newbegin will be the race leader after this one, since Clemens got that speeding penalty in that pit lane. He's going to be all by himself as Eric Keeter down pit lane, as everyone else down pit lane except Brandon Griffiths. Going to stay as long as he can. Looks like he's going to come down pit lane this time by the Crescent Donuts machine right there. So Douglas Newbegin will cycle out to the race lead here on lap 42, coming to 43. And Lucas Stewart will be 5 seconds behind him. Malachi Drake behind him. So the top 3 be Douglas Newbegin, Lucas Stewart, and Malachi Drake. As everyone has pitted here, so the top three is Douglas Newbegin, Lucas Strayer, Malachi Drake, Zachary Thorne in fourth, Luke LaFaro in fifth. And Luke Peters right there on hot on his tails. As again, that 35 machine blinking in and out of traffic. As they're battling here, as Luke Peters trying to nudge his way through as his way first retires and those two drivers of Luke LaFaro and Zachary Thorin. As he's all the way up to fourth, now up to just kind of work his way up to third as Lucas Strayer and Malachi Drake side by side. As way up the racetrack goes somebody. I think that might be a lap car. Yeah, Evan Drake right there in the outside wall. But Strayer able to hang on as far with a big block on Aaron Brown trying to get around the lap car. I don't know if he meant to block Aaron Brown there, but as they're 3 wide for a second, 2 wide off of turn 4. As Brown and Peters on the same lap tires. As Aaron Brown got to try to keep up with Luke Peters now. As Peters trying to work his way up into the top 3 spot. Make it top 2 as he's side by side with Lucas Strayer. Down the back straightaway he goes. And he will clear for seconds as he's 5 seconds back now of the race leaders. Aaron Brown still working his way through those drivers with the older tires. He's got around Zachary Thorne and Luke LaFaro. Ahead of him are Malachi Drake and Lucas Strayer. Now Luke Peters going to try to chase down Douglas Newbegin for the race lead. And in a moment, we're going to say we'll crank it up here at Kansas. As we're back live here at Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas. Douglas is still leading here on lap 53. One more pit stop to go. Requires Thomas Coonan working his way up the field. Side by side, Lucas Dreyer will move himself up the fourth. There's a big gaggle of cars here working lap traffic in Nicholas Amons. And during the crank it up, we saw Nicholas Amons clip the right front of Luke Peters there. Gave him a little bit of damage. I don't know if it's significant. So 3 wide now, lap car on the wall. As they're side by side for 6th place. That's Malachi Drake, Zachary Thorne on the bottom, and Luke Lafaro and Ollie Reeves up top. Ollie Reeves has way fresher tires than these guys ahead of him. He's got to try to make something happen here quickly so he can take advantage of this one. As there he goes up to the top side. It's a clear Malachi Drake for 7th. Thomas Coonan moves himself up to 4th place now. After a bad first opening stint, he ran good, but fell back really late in that one, so hopefully he can save his tires a little bit better in the second green flag run. We compare the lap times between Douglas Newbegin and Luke Peters. Side by side with Reeves as Reeves clears for the top 5 spot. Now there's 42 laps to go now. As now Ollie Reeves in the top 5 spot, like I mentioned, is Thomas Coonan kind of on the island of his own there, sitting in 4th. There's continued battle here, Eric Keeter and Luke Lafaro. As Keeter and Lafaro trying to get around Lucas Dreyer there for the top 6 position there. As Luke Lafaro and Eric Keeter will clear. Keeter clears, and so does Lafaro. As Luke Peters still trying to close on the gap between him and Douglas Newbegin. Gap now down to 2.5 seconds. As with 40 laps to go, we'll see if anyone else comes on pit lane soon. As these drivers kind of spaced out between each other for now. As there goes Eric here to the inside of Ollie Reeves for a top 5 spot. He will will clear for a top 5 spot off of turn 2. Can Luke Peters catch up to Douglas Newbegin? This gap has been about 2.3 seconds here. Down the front straightaway they go. See how spread out the field is, especially the top 3. You have Thomas Kuhn as Malachi Drake coming in very early with 38 to go. Right on the fuel window there. So first driver to come in for the second pit stop. As everyone does have to come in one more time in the rest of this race. Ollie Reeves in 6th place. He could be one that pit a little earlier also. But we will see. As if I was one of these drivers, I'd probably just stay out as long as I can, knowing how bad the tire is. Zachary Thornton falling off a cliff right now. Him and Lucas Schreier pitted very early. I believe you see Zachary Thornton very sideways there, as behind him, that's a Jack Clemens hoping for a caution there, and 20th place with 1 lap down. Got a black flag penalty earlier in the first pit stop cycle. Right now staying 20th, not even in a lucky dog position yet. So even with a caution, he'd still be in a bad spot. There's Jacob Mill in there. I believe he's going laps down, possibly. It's actually, no, it's Malachi Drake as a lap car there. He's right now in 13th. And Adrian Fernandez and Dakota Hendrickson close together here for 15th spot. Aaron Brown lost some time on Luke Peters last time. As the gap now still around 2 seconds between Doug Newbegin and Luke Peters there. Coming to 34 to go. Expect pit stops here as Tyler Aspinall coming down pit lane. As I expect a few others maybe coming down pit lane here very shortly. As down the front straightaway goes Douglas Newbegin. Doesn't look like anyone else coming down pit lane for the front top 10 for now. Still no one here on lap 68. As Luke Peters and Douglas Newbegin's gap is kind of evened out right now. Peters isn't able to gain too much time on the race leader, even with those way fresher tires. There's one driver down pit lane, that is Adrian Fernandez, right in front of our race leader. He came down pit lane. So will anyone else follow Fernandez down? Doesn't look like they will, at least in the top 10 spots. Go back to Eric here trying to catch up to Thomas Kuhn. Not exactly the way you want to do that. Hitting the outside wall all the way through 1 and 2. So down the back straightaway he goes. Look for an Ollie Reeves pretty close together right there for 6th place. 0.2 of a second separate them as LaFar with a great run off for turn 1 and 2. It looks to the inside of Ollie Reeves there in that 31 machine. As Douglas Newbegin coming out pit lane and Luke Peters takes the race lead for now. As Will Peters do the same thing and try to go as long as he can. Almost some contact between Reeves and LaFaro. As Thomas Kuhn and Aaron Brown also coming out pit lane this time by. And same with Zachary Thornton, also coming down pit lane this time by. So 4 of the top 10 drivers come down pit lane. As will Luke Peters follow suit. Now he's going to stay out another lap or so. Will anyone else come down pit lane also? Looks like Eric Keeter will stay out another few more laps. Gotta make sure none of these guys get penalties as Thomas Kern away and he goes. No black flag for him. Looks like everyone was clean coming down the pit lane as Ollie Reeves and Lucas Scherr down pit lane. As that moves Jordan Kuntz up to the top 5 spot. Same with Dakota Steens. Right there in 4th. As will there be a 2-tire strategy? Possibly we could see that here. I think a little bit too long of a run with 29 laps. See that happens. Luke Peters down pit lane. And Eric Keeter gonna take the race lead, get a lap led there. Another bonus point that he can use for himself. It says Douglas Newman right ahead of him, of our race leader currently, and also the talent winner of Eric Keeter. Very loose coming on the pit lane for that 28 machine. Remember, he missed his first time down pit lane. He missed it, trying to get slowed down, but looks like he did. I don't see anyone else who's gotten a penalty yet so far. So everyone's smooth on the pit lane. Luke Farr also coming down pit lane, and Jordan Kuntz will now take the race lead here with 28 laps to go. Yeah, 27 laps to go. One car way loose out of him. That's Evan Drake there in that 81. Very loose on the right in front of Jordan Kuntz. The top 4 drivers have yet to pit so far. They still have not, with 26 to go. There's one car on the wall right in front of him. Evan Drake in the wall, losing it off of turn 2. Keeps it up there right in front of our race leader, Jordan Kuntz. Zachary with a slow pit stop, 17 seconds compared to everyone else, 14 seconds. So 3 seconds extra in his box. Not sure exactly what that was for. Maybe some extra fuel that he needs, possibly for a green white checkered. But Thomas Cooney getting around Jack Clemens. Clemens has yet to pit so far in this run. And Luke Peters getting around Malachi Drake for that 5th place spot. Malachi Drake pitted 10 laps earlier than Luke Peters. Peters now they got 4.5 seconds between him and Douglas Newbegin. They only have 2 lap. Newbegin only has 2 lap older tires than Luke Peters, so I just don't know if Peters has enough time to catch up to our race leader once his all cycles out. Right now, Jordan Kuntz still in the race lead and staying out as long as he can. Same with Jacob McMillan and Zach Domer in that 14 machine. So the top 3 have yet to pit so far. And also, will we see a caution here tonight with 24 to go? I've yet to see one so far, but anything is still possible late in this one. Got a pretty good gaggle of cars here, kind of a little separated though. Few cars in between each other is Ollie Reeves and Eric Keeter. Post drivers on the racetrack right now. I see her ripping the top lane off of turn 2. Gonna have a good run off of turn 2, looking inside of Ollie Reeves. And he's able to book in turn 3 and 4, and he'll clear that 31 machine for a top 10 spot up in the 9th. Reeves might do a crossover move off of turn 4. Doesn't look like he has the momentum to do so, and he'll stay ahead for now. Thomas Coonan also catching up to Malachi Drake in 7th. Has about 8 lap pressure tires in the 90 machine. Should be able to make quick work of him as he looks to the inside, and he's going to clear in 3 and 4 easily. As the top 3 have still yet to pit here with 21 to go, coming to 20. As soon as I say that, here comes Jordan Kuntz down pit lane. And Jake McMillan, once again, the driver is going to stay as long as he can. As there he goes inbound the pit lane. Now cycle Douglas moving into the race lead. As Luke Pierce around 3.2 seconds back with 19 laps to go. Make it coming to 18 here shortly. And so that is enough time to catch up to Douglas Newbegin. He's got to have to work the lap traffic as good as he can these last 18 laps. As Lucas Strayer on the back bumper of Ollie Reeves. Coming to the inside now. So Reeves really loose off of turn 2. Strayer gonna give him plenty of room. Down the back straight where they go. Still side by side for that 7th place spot. As Strayer does clear Reeves finally, is behind them Zachary Thorne and Luke LaFaro side by side for 9th and 10th. LaFaro with those fresher tires that easily clears Zachary Thorne, who falls down to 10th place. Side by side for 15th, also Brandon Griffiths and Dakota Hendrickson. Griffiths clears ahead for 15th. Not about pinching turns Luke Pierce and Douglas Newbegin. Pierce once again has closed the gap down to 2.5 seconds here. Late in this one, he was about 3/10 quicker than Douglas Newbegin last time by. Can you keep up this pace for the next 15 laps? As Eric here gets around the Malachi Drake there, a top 5 spot, so let's put Heater into the top 5. Still close together as Ollie Reeves and Luke LaFaro and Lucas Strayer up ahead. This is about for 7th, and they could catch up to Malachi Drake here late in this one as he's way older tires than them. So this could put them up to 6th place here if they can work together a little bit maybe. Reeves is really struggling with his race car right there off of turn 2. Gets pit loose as here comes Luke LaFaro to the inside of Lucas Strayer now for 7th. And Bookie, he clears for 7th place. He's up. I think he's up about 4 spots since that last pit stop. He was behind Zachary Thornton right there, and now he's up to 7th. Now he's going to try to chase down Malachi Drake, who's only about 2 seconds up the road. And Luke Pierce has closed the gap down to under 2 seconds on Douglas Newbegin. He has to be about 2/10 quicker lap to catch up to him here late in this one. I think he has the speed to do it, but he has to have some help from some lap traffic also, I think. Have a real good shot at this one late. He's really ripping the outside walls. Newbegin not really ripping the wall too much, as he knows that the only way he's going to lose this race is if he hits the outside wall too many times. We got Jacob McMillan and Zach Domer right there. 15th and 16th. McMillan on way fresher tires there. About one lap. Actually, only one lap fresher tires compared to Zach Domer. But he's going to try to chase down Adrian Fernandez, who has about 14 lap older tires than him in that 14th place spot. And Diego Scene's also going to chase down Tyler Aspinall, who's right ahead of him for 11th. As side by side now. As up the racetrack goes Aspinall. As the inside goes Scenes. Can he make the move in 3 and 4 for 11th? Then the inside looking for a slide job move. Aspinall running outside wall, clips the outside wall, just a little bit sparks flying from his car, but Scenes going to clear easily off for turn 4. And he's up to P11. So Malachi Jane getting caught down by Luke Lafaro here. That 7th place spot. Malachi Jane has way older tires than Luke Lafaro. As far as the inside. 8 laps to go. He's going to clear for 6th. We'll see what he can do here. Him and Eric has the same laps of tires. Peter paid 19 laps ago. Lafaro paid 19 laps ago also. And the gap has stabilized pretty much from Luke Peters and Douglas Newbinging. As Peters side by side with Adrian Fernandez there. Now Lucas Strayer going to try to get around Malachi Drake here late in this one. As Jordan Kuntz gets around Tyler Aspinall there for that 12th place spot. But Lucas Strayer also going to try to get around Malachi Drake here for 7th with 6 laps to go. He's a little bit fresher tires than Malachi Drake, around 8 laps or so. Off of turn 2 they go. As the inside goes Strayer, Malachi a little bit loose off of turn 2, off of turn 4, excuse me. Side by side on the front straightaway they go. Under 5 laps to go so far here. And the Rev Limit Workshop's 150. And Strayer does clear. Malachi Drake now falls down to 8. Ollie Reeves and Zachary Thorne close together also, as these guys have pretty much even tires on these cars, fit around the same lap as each other. So no real big tire advantage lap wise, but Zachary Thorne could have saved his tires just a little bit better also to allow him to catch up to Ollie Reeves for his 9th place spot. As Adrian Fernandez side by side for 5th. As here comes Jacob McMillan, his teammate there. 14th for his 15th and 16th, and also ahead of him is Zach Domer right there in that 14 car in 14th place. As McMillan has fresh tires, but so does Zach Domer, as they stayed out as long as they could. 15 laps to go, as Luke Peters right ahead of him. As a little bit too late for Luke Peters strategy wise. Douglas Newbinging took the race lead early on in this one. Had a few scripts to the outside wall, but hasn't looked back since. He's come to 2 laps to go this time by here at Kansas. Just got to get to the white flag this time. He'll be home free in Kansas City, Kansas. Behind them, side by side, Jacob McMillan. As Zach Domer in the outside wall. McMillan got clear. Comes a white flag this time by for Douglas Newbinging. off of turn 2 for him. Ollie Reeves and Zach Throwing continue to battle here for that 9th place spot. Comes to the white flag with these guys about half a lap behind Douglas Newbegin. But off of turn 4, Douglas Newbegin, that 71 machine, get a win here at Kansas for the Rev Limit Workshop 150. What a win here for that 71 machine. His first win of the season. As behind him, Ollie Reeves and Zachary Thorne battling out as Reeves is pulled away on the last lap there as Diego Scenes gets around Jordan Coons for that 11th place spot. But Douglas Newbegin get a win here tonight at Kansas. And once again, the pole streak for these oval tracks. Driver who gets that pole position has not won a race so far. Newbegin's got pole position twice so far this season at Daytona and Iowa. But tonight at Kansas, he started in 3rd, worked his way up to the race lead, and didn't look back since. He's going to burn down here on the front straightaway. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll speak to our top 3 drivers right after this. As you're back here at Kansas, we're going to take a quick look at our finishing results here for tonight's Rev Limit Workshop 150 at Kansas. As Douglas Newbegin brings up the win here at Kansas, Luke Peters going to finish in 2nd, Aaron Brown in 3rd, Thomas Kuhn in 4th, Eric Keeter 5th, Luke Farrow 6th, Lucas Strayer in 7th, Malachi Drake 8th, Ari Reeves in 9th, Zachary Thornton in 10th, Diego Scenes in 11th, Jordan Kuntz in 12th, Tyler Aspinall 13th, Jacob Vermeil in 14th, Zach Domer in 15th, Adrian Fernandez in 16th, Brandon Griffiths in 17th, Dakota Hendrickson in 18th, Ryan Perry 19th, Jack Clemens got a penalty earlier, finishing in 20th, 1 lap downhill pole setter. Tough break for him, but Donovan David and Donovan David in 21st, Chris Sawyer in 22nd, Nicholas Almond in 23rd, Dakota Lee 24th, Derek Sinley 25th, Evan Drake 26th, and Cameron Ingram 27th. We'll speak to our race winner here, Douglas Newbegin, in a moment here. Hello, Douglas. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha. Hello.
What a win here for you tonight at Kansas. Qualified in 3rd place, but worked your way up through the field there, bit by bit, and once you got the lead, you never really looked back.
Yeah, just started third, and then like you're saying, just I know I'm good here, and then it's just kind of save tires at the beginning of my runs, and then just kind of saw the leaders were kind of fighting each other a little bit, and then the first pit stop kind of messed up a little bit here and there, but yeah, just had really good pit strategies there. Kind of went a little longer in each pit stop, but yeah, kind of worked out there. I was honestly a lot of fun. I did not expect this to go green flag all the way. So that was really nice, honestly. So yeah, that was a blast. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, how hard was it to get on the pit lane? Also with those older tires, around 35, 40 lap old tires.
I didn't really have that much of an issue. I kind of was practicing my pit lane entrance and practice, and at the end of qualifying, I practiced too, just to make sure my lines were good. It definitely is one of these tracks where it's definitely easy if you hit the apron the wrong way to definitely speed or just kind of mess up and then the car starts wheel hopping. But if you kind of get it down pat with like where the braking marks are, whole 9 yards, it's not too terrible of a pit stop to make. I don't really have too much of an issue with it. Kind of the second pit stop, I kind of took it a little slower in there, but could have been a little better. But you know, just kind of had the lead, so I wanted to protect it a little bit. Pretty safe.
Anyone looking for tonight's win here at Kansas?
Hmm. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Anyone looking for tonight's win here at Kansas?
Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah. Summit Markets. You shout out to them. Monarch Esports. College stuff. Lucky Ducks. That's my racing team. Those guys. Nexus. Beyond Enterprises. Chris Derrick. Brett Metro. What a guy. What a gentleman. Brett Metro. You know, truly gentleman. Couldn't be here. He's fighting really bad people tonight, so he's protecting our city, as they say. So yeah, just all in all, fun. Thanks Brady for on the show, and then thank you for broadcasting and doing pretty good. I watched their broadcasts back, and they're always really nice to watch. So thank you for always putting them on.
Yep, congrats on your win here tonight at Kansas. We'll see you next week at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll probably be back up here again, hopefully. So
Yeah.
see you around.
Yep, see ya. And that was Douglas and me, our race winner. We're going to speak to our second place driver of Luke Peters. Hello, Luke. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
So you lined up in second here. Just could not figure out the strategy. It seemed like once Douglas pitted a little earlier in the first pit cycle, you just never really could catch him late.
Yeah, I definitely made a mistake on the strategy pretty bad this race. I expect the undercut to be better, but not by that much. I definitely shouldn't have ran that far on the first stint, and then I should have just pit when Douglas pit in the second pit stop, but I just hesitated and ran a couple laps extra, which definitely cost me at least a chance at the race. I think each run I got to about 2 seconds on him, and then I kind of just stalled out. Couldn't really gain anything else. I was trying everything I could in that last stint to gain any time, but there just wasn't any tire advantage left by then. But yeah, it was still a solid P2, and Douglas Grenadier. Great race.
Yeah, it's still a good second place for you from not even qualifying either. So, and get going green the whole way too. So, really good result for you. Anyone like to thank for tonight's second place
Yeah, I
run?
want to thank everyone for racing really clean the whole race and having us go green the whole way. That was a lot of fun. So hopefully that happens more this season.
Yep, congrats on your second place here at Kansas.
Thanks.
We'll speak to our third place driver of Aaron Brown. Hello, Aaron, you got a copy?
Do.
So you finished up in third here at Kansas here tonight. Just a solid run for you. Talk us through just your strategy overall, tire management throughout this race.
Yeah, just trying to. You really just want to keep the car on the right front, knowing the right rear is just so loose here. That was the goal, ultimate goal, just keep it on the right front. And I mean, the strategy there, it was a two-stop race all night long, 40 to 80. Yeah, probably the original strategy was 40-80. Thought that may have been a bit too long of the other strategy. Then Doug ended up, Jack also did as well, but Jack got a commitment line violation pretty much right at the start. So in that first stop, just barely missed it. So unfortunate, he got taken out of it early, really, with the green flag runs and all that. But he took the good strategy with Doug, and I spent a little bit later with Luke as well. And we were about 6 seconds, 7 seconds back, but once we got to about 4 or 5, it stalled out, and we couldn't gain anything. So I thought, knowing that second run, knowing that, pit a little bit earlier, split that second run into half, so go 40 and then 30 to the end. That was my goal there. It ended up working out. Not really working out, but I guess it worked out to hold my spot. I pitted with Doug. I was right there, pitted a few laps before Peters, and Peters just flew right by me. So and he didn't stall out at all. So I just don't know how the tire model worked out or whatever, but I still held on the a solid third place run. But going low flux for next week and just hope that hopefully we can go something there, but just can't get that win yet.
Yeah, still, I think you probably will be leading the points. I think so after this race. I think you will, but still good result here. Anyone I think for tonight's good run here at Kansas.
Yeah, I gotta thank my teammates, Jackie Clemens, Thomas Coonan, Malachi Drake, all three of those guys, all of us working well together all night long. I think the admins are coming out, putting on the league for us, so we can all come out here and race. And gotta thank the viewers for tuning in, and gotta thank you guys for the broadcast. Join you guys on Saturday. So we'll see y'all then.
Yep, and the congrats here on your third place at Kansas. We'll see you next week at North Wilkesboro.
Thank you.
Those Aaron Brown in our third place spot. So next time they go to North Wilkesboro next week at the same time. And our next broadcast will be tomorrow night for the Chase Race number 3 at Las Vegas in the Tuesday Night Thunder Series, Boat Racing League Tuesday Night Thunder Series at Las Vegas. And then Wednesday nights would be with the new ARCA car for the Superstar ARCA Cup Series at Pocono. And then Saturday will be the Bolt Racing League Grand National Series at Watkins Glen for their Chase Race number 3. And Stampede Racing League Juicy Spire Premier Series Phoenix next Sunday. And like I mentioned, next week on Monday will be the North Wilkesboro at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, the 5 Points Racing League. And we will see you guys then tomorrow night.